comes the bride. Here comes the bride. Oh my gosh, this dress is lovely. You know, I'm just imagining the bride that will be wearing this gorgeous wedding dress on her big day. You know, wedding dress is very intimate and personal for a woman. It must represent her personality and style of the bride. Carolina Herrera. Are you planning your wedding anytime soon? Well, not to worry, we have you covered on the program today because it's going to be all about bridals on the show today. It is today's style and I welcome you on board. My name is Ruth Aguele. Weddings are a big deal anywhere in the world. Now, it still remains the most single cost-intensive event for most families. Now, it is estimated that about 5 million weddings take place in African cities every year. Now, you can imagine how daunting it can be planning your big day. Well, we have those they call the planners. And right now, we'll be having a chat with an event planner to tell us what it takes to make your big day come alive.
For one, it's a very sensitive job because most of the times we have to deal with weddings, brides, grooms, and you know how they are with their weddings, they want everything to be perfect. So what we basically do is bring their dreams to reality. In fact, our job there is to save them the whole stress of planning. Sometimes we have busy brides, we save them time. As planners, what we do is we bring out the decorators, we bring in different vendors from left, right, and center. So what we do is that we look at the thing that the brides give, like the brief, and then we can say, oh, this particular vendor can actually pull it off. So it is the question of the vendor.
I get a lot of phone calls and then they think I'm a decorator. I'm not a decorator, I'm a planner. A planner is different from a decorator. It was so bad that I had to put on my bio that we're not a decor company. It shows that a lot of people do not know what event planning is. So we try to educate people, and trust me, we still have a long way to go here in Nigeria. We're hoping that we have more wedding planners and event planners because sometimes it affects our job. You're trying to deal with a mother who has never worked with an event planner before. She probably feels she knows everything because she has done 1 or 2 events with her friends, and then you try to tell her, no, this is the vendor responsible for this is the vendor responsible for that. If we follow this style to do this thing, it will be a success.
So we're not saying that everything is going to be 101% stress-free, but it's definitely going to be 90% stress-free. So the remaining stress is just the anxiety that comes with weddings. Most brides find it hard to relax. So it depends on the bride. If they want something over the top, we give them something over the top with a little bit of class. If they want something subtle, we'll give them something subtle with a little bit of class. We all just have to think about what they want to work with their themes. Or for the brides who actually don't know anything about colors, we give them a color palette to pick from. And when we're giving them the color palette, we also show you how it might turn up in your decor, how it might turn up in your bridesmaid dresses, how it might look with your groomsmen, your groom, how these colors can actually come to play in the wedding entirely. As wedding planners, we have to keep on feeding our creative minds. I do a lot of research, and the best time for me to do my research, 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm awake, I'm looking for the next best thing. I try to draw out inspirations from everywhere I go to. It could be my surroundings, it could be a beautiful furniture store. So it all depends on what we're doing. Inspirations are things that hit you. You don't plan for them, they just come. If you call a wedding planner to help you plan your wedding, listen to them. A no-no is overthinking things. A no-no is having negative vibes. Oh my God, what if something falls off? What if the cake falls off? No, most of these feelings will usually affect how your approach towards things. Don't expect that things are going to go wrong. Be positive. Always be positive in your event. Always be positive about your wedding, your special day. It is we all pray to have it once in a lifetime, so it can never be like the first time. So the positive bride is a very happy bride. So for me, a no is negative thoughts.
For upcoming event planners, if you want to learn about event planning, please work with a company that has an experience. Work with them, intern with them. Do not assume that you can wake up one morning, pick somebody's sensitive wedding and just say, I want to plan. We've had issues like that. We've been called to do damage control. So it's very important that a lot of people know the importance of what wedding planning entails. Go to a company. If you want to study about it, it's fine. Work for a company that has experience in wedding planning. Do not tell somebody that you can do the event if you've never handled an event before. I'm saying this because I've been called so many times for damage control, and sometimes found out that the damage has been done so much and we just have to pick up the pieces and try as much as possible to work out magic. We'll continue to give them their desired results. We continue to give them a befitting wedding. We'll continue to make sure they're stress-free.
Thank you so much, Queen. Now, don't think about the cost. Just think of how you want that big day to be, the dream wedding you've always wanted. Now, while your wedding planner is doing all the work for you, you might want to take a sneak peek, go window shopping and see what it's like, Well, recently a wedding fair was organized in Abuja. So let's see what it's like and what they have on display.
Velvet with satin on it. The other one is like a regular, so 3-piece. For a groom on his wedding day, he has to wear a piece that is exceptional, something that stands out. The fabric needs to be rich, and the tailoring also. We pay attention to details.
Wedding dresses most times are ambiguous. They're heavy. So for reception, that's where you play, that's where you dance, that's where you show off yourself. So just a simpler dress that you can use to show your style. And here we're displaying reception dresses for brides. After the wedding, the main wedding, for the reception, most brides choose to change into a second dress. So you can choose from different variety of colors. Here we have a champagne gold dress with a cape and brooch on it. A bride will want to look regal.
Ashwabi, yes. Can you see that with all the Aguele and hats, and then the bride, her traditional wedding, she gets wear her Aguele or a veil. So they are really very important. As if it's missing, if it's not there, you notice that there's something wrong. The bride has to have some sort of hairpiece on her head, so it's very important. It's like not wearing your wedding dress. complete without a planner, without a coordinator, and without these beautiful ushers.
The Abuja wedding fair there. Now, the planning, getting the right venue, everything seems so exciting, right? But the wedding dress is what makes a bride feel amazing on her big day. Now, when so much meaning is ascribed to a piece of clothing, the prospect of looking for a wedding dress can be daunting. Now, you don't have to travel outside the shores of Nigeria or place an order to get your dress fit for you. It can be made here in Nigeria. Remember, hashtag made in Nigeria. You want to find out how? Come with me. Alright, welcome back. Now, for every bride, you know, it is her desire to have that dream wedding dress made to fit. That's number one. And it should be classy and elegant, of course. Please make welcome the creative director of Elizabeth BD Clothing Designs. And her name is Elizabeth BD. Thank you so much for joining us. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, and I must commend you for the good job you have been doing, you know, for putting smiles on brides' faces. Well done. She doesn't do for men.
You know I don't do for
Why?
men. Strictly women.
You told me you started, you know, doing bridals, you know, out of passion.
Yeah.
And you have been into this business for over 15 years.
Yeah.
What made you pick interest in fashion?
Well, I grew up in a family where my mom was a dressmaker, like all our lives. That's all we knew. So I think it was just normal that, you know, I started at a very early age. Never thought of doing anything else.
But how has the journey been so far? Because some years back, if I were to be a bride, I wouldn't think of, you know, getting my wedding dress in Nigeria. You know, that used to be the in thing. But that has changed.
Yes.
So what changed? What did you designers like you know, start doing differently?
Way back, we used to have, you know, there's still quite a number of people that used to make their dress. I think people that just understand that you can create something, like, especially for your body type, you know. Not everybody is like a perfect size 14, 16, 18, you know. And then, yes, things have really changed. I think it's because there are better people in the fashion industry now that are more creative.
Better people like you?
Yes, like me for one.
Okay, now if we're looking at, you know, the creativity, you know, designing a bridal wear, I know that is not easy. It doesn't come cheap. You know, so I'm just wondering, because your designs are mind-blowing. A bride wearing that dress will feel like a princess that she is. How do you come up with your creativity?
It's very important for me to, of course, when I meet with the bride, and the first thing is, what has her dream always been? Like, what, you know, we women, we have always had those dreams, fairy tales of how we want to look on our wedding days, you know. So yes, I just meet with them. It's very important to sit down, and then I ask you, of course, what have you always visualized, you know. And then she gives me her ideas, and then of course I bring my ideas, you know, and then we just put things together. And
it's not tasking.
It's very tasking. It is very tasking. Like, what I do is hectic. But I think it's because I love what I do. So
Now, I know for the creativity, a lot of handwork is always done for bridal wears because of the beading, the stoning, and all of that. How it doesn't come easy, obviously, but tell us what the process is like.
well, okay, of course, first of all, it all depends on the style of the dress. And most times I do everything myself by hand. Like all the beading, the stoning, the flowers, the application.
How long does it take you?
From start to
Yeah.
finish? Well, normally I would advise, if we have enough time, 3 months before the wedding. That's fine. But of course, there's always the express factor, which, we in Nigeria are used to that express. So we can do wedding dresses in 2 weeks if we have to.
Seriously?
Yep.
2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
but is there a time in your life whereby, during the course of your business, of course, is there a time where you had that challenge of you made a dress for a bride and she wasn't satisfied?
Honestly, yes, but it doesn't happen too often. It has happened like once or twice.
How did she feel?
Well, like me personally, I'm the kind of person like I don't mind changing the dress 1, 2, 3 times just to make sure you are happy with what you get. But of course, there's some people you can't please everybody, and I don't know, it just works out somehow. Yeah,
I can imagine, because if it were my big day and you ruin my dress, I'll be very angry with you. Okay,
yes.
So but let's look at the business of bridal wears in Nigeria. Now, a lot of people will always prefer to go get their bridal wears outside the shores of Nigeria because they're thinking quality, they're thinking of the detailing, and they don't mind the cost.
Yeah.
How is the business like? Keeping up?
Doing well. It just gets better because when it comes to like you said, like the fabrics, the detailing, we have everything here. I think it just depends. It's now depends on the person making the dress. If you're creative enough to put all these things together and then come out with something fantastic. The funny thing is that I've had a lot of brides. They go overseas to buy their dresses and they still end up bringing them back to me for some sort of alterations, fittings exactly, or maybe I should just bling up their dresses or put more appliques or just make it prettier,
But I know the challenge will be, of course, the material. Some of the material you use for the designs of the bridal wears. Now, how challenging can it be if we have to, make Nigeria one hub when you're thinking bridal wears, exquisite bridal wears, for the world? How do we tackle those challenges?
Personally, I think there are a lot of things we have here, really. I don't think it's really a challenge like that. I don't think. And then, of course, thanks to social media, on Instagram, you can just go online and place order for your fabrics, and everything is just made so easy now, like delivery, that you can get the most common fabric in this market here. And then what you create out of it, people, because a lot of people just see what I do and they're like, wow, where did you get this fabric? Like, did you travel to buy it? Did somebody send it from overseas or something? And I'm like, no. Like, I just walked into the market and I got it. It's available. It's here.
Now, why I asked you that question? A lot of fashion designers will tell you the challenge of importing those fabrics into the country. It's a huge cost, and that, falls back to the production cost.
Yeah.
And I know bridal wears don't come cheap.
Yeah.
Now, for you, when you have to put a price tag to it, what do you put into consideration?
Well, of course, you put into consideration the style,
Okay.
the accessories used on the dress, the amount of time it's going to take to make the dress, the little details, there's always, in my case, I always put in a little extra something. I find myself doing overtime on every single dress I work on. The funny thing is that you could see a fantastic dress I've made and the fabric was really cheap. Do you understand? And then you could see another dress and the fabric is super expensive. So that's how we price it.
Is it affordable?
Yes, I am very affordable. Because why I think so is because most times brides come with these fantastic pictures. Like, I keep laughing, like they always go on Instagram and they see all those flashy, shiny dresses, and they're like, I want this. And then I'm like, okay, do you know that this fabric alone could maybe cost as much as, let's say, 500,000. I always give them an option, like we could actually look for something as nice but cheaper. To just get plain lace, and then I personally just stone them, put stones, put beads, put all sorts of things. So by the time I'm done, the cheap fabric you bought now looks super expensive.
Now, I know you do bespoke, you know, but your passion for bridals, where is it coming from?
It's just something in me. I don't know. It's just natural. I can't say this is when it started. I can't say this is why I like it. I just love to do like bridals. I do everything. I do casuals. I do ashwebi. You know, Nigerians and ashwebi. We do lots of ashwebi. But when it comes to bridals, like that is really my passion.
Now, I know the market for bridal wears is gradually growing and picking up in Nigeria. You know, when you think of the likes of Maya Tafo, you know, are you worried, you know, the stage we're going to get to when the competition will be so high? Now you guys are few. Not everybody is really into this. Now, when it gets really big, what would be your strategy to sustain your business?
There could be like 1 million fashion designers, but there are enough people to sustain everybody's business. That's what I keep saying. Like, to me, it's not really a competition.
Okay.
Especially when you're very sure of what you do. You know, a lot of my clients that come there, after meeting me like for the first time, they're like, oh wow, like they just felt so warmly welcomed and received. And you know, we sit down, we talk, we go into details, you know. So I think it's really about you, about the person, your passion, and then when they now see the good works, do you understand? When they see the good works, then I think that is enough to sustain your market, and of course advertising and marketing and all that.
And you know what they say, the sky is large enough for so many stars to shine.
Exactly.
So
true.
What's the future for Elizabeth
Wow.
BD?
Yes. Well, yes. I want to start like my own ready to wear. What I do now is just on order.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you want a wedding dress, come and meet me. We sit down, create it. I make it for you, and I give you that, so you're gone. But what I want to start doing, I want to create my own personal line and put it out there.
Okay, I know you have a very bright future when it comes to promoting your label, promoting Nigerian fashion to its peak. But for you, you know, what's your message to that up-and-coming designer who wants to delve into bridals? You know, I know it's not easy, so what would you tell them so they have at the back of their mind before they start this?
Once you have the passion for what you do, once you're doing it for the right reason, if you're not doing it because of like making money, but do it because you know you want to see the beautiful things that you're creating on people, and you know making them happy, and you know the brides are so excited, and it just goes so well. Honestly, people will find you wherever you are. That I have experienced it all my life, you know, growing up. Work hard, give it your best, always put in that extra touch, especially when it comes to pricing. Some people will be like, no, she didn't give me so amount of money, so I'm not going to go out of my way to make it nice. But then I always think, but it's a reflection of you, your work at the end of the day, you know.
How does it make you feel when you see that bride, you know, looking beautiful in your creation?
I'm just excited, I'm just happy, you know. Like, I've had brides that would tear up and they're like, oh my God, they made my day, I'm so happy.
They cry?
Yes. And the funny thing is that I noticed that most brides cry when you put the veil on and then you cover their faces.
Oh, women are so emotional with weddings.
It's always at that point that, you know, brides are like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting married, you know, I look so beautiful, and you know, so it just makes me happy. That's it.
Thank you so much, darling. You've been amazing. Wonderful chat with you here, and continue to promote the Made in Nigerian brand, and continue to put the smiles on those brides, their faces. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Elizabeth BD, Creative Director, Elizabeth BD Fashion Design. And yes, she's into everything you think of when you're saying bridals. All right, let's go on this break. Today's Style. We'll be back. No doubt we cannot ignore the growing demand and patronage of indigenous brands with focus to bridal fashion. And one way we can grow this industry is when we support local businesses and their revenue generating potentials. There's so much we can harness here in Nigeria. And that's it on the show today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. And we say a big congratulations to you if you're having your wedding anytime soon. And for those of you still dreaming, here's to you. All right, we'll see you next week, God willing. But remember to always keep that smile burning, because that's your style. My name is Ruth Aguele.